Every 4 years, there's a global multi-faith higher education chaplains conference. This year, it took place at Yale University in New Haven, and I was fortunate enough to represent Derby University and the URC. Yale is built in a traditional way with beautiful buildings and welcomed over 400 of us from 4 different continents. We opened with food and shared a banquet together. And here we were welcomed and listened to our first keynote speaker, Ibu Patel. He is involved in multi-faith dialogue, and the group he is part of has the ear of President Obama for multi-faith issues. He stirred things right at the start by talking of hospitality. He said, "We are not defined by what we think of regarding hospitality. We are defined by what we do because of it." He continued to talk of the multi-faith work that chaplains do, saying that it's not science, it should instead be seen as art. That way, it can be more inspiring. Late that night, each country was invited to have a stall at a global marketplace where we could try things that we had brought with us. Everyone from Great Britain focused on the Jubilee and the Olympics. Other keynote speakers included the Reverend Gail Bowman, who reflected from serving as a chaplain in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. She said that chaplains always stand at the junction of unlikely road and inexplicable boulevard. She also challenged us, saying that we needed less dogma, more joy, and a little bit of mystery. Rabbi Ellenson reminded us that the Torah is bookended by acts of loving kindness. Creation, Garden of Eden, Torah, Moses' burial. Chaplains should continue these acts of loving kindness, he suggested. He went on to challenge us to live up to the way of God. God created light out of darkness and order out of chaos. He said we need to try to mirror that. Ingrid Mattson left us a challenge of reflecting on the role that politics has in the life of our students. It is often seen as being divisive, but it could be a real bond. Hospitality was a focus during this conference, and one time away gave us the fantastic local experience of an all-you-could-eat lobster meal, with even a lesson on how to eat lobster. The last meal on the last night was a time when we were invited to the Peabody Museum in New Haven to have our meal in the presence of dinosaurs. A sign perhaps of how important chaplains are for the future of religion. I want to thank those who made my trip possible, especially Derby University Chaplaincy, the United Reformed Church and the Multi-Faith Centre here at Derby. The last picture here shows the Gutenberg Bible, a famous historical Bible. But it's only a few paces away from something else in the library, the original script of the film Dirty Harry. All over the world, from the speakers to the seminars to the conversations at the meal times, it seems that in many ways chaplains are reminded of the value of their traditions, but serve in a changing and modern world. One seminar in particular left us with a big challenge. Chaplains should be who they are, and in that, be that person generously.